What's going on, everyone? In this video, we're going to talk about how quick you can gain muscle and what some of the factors are that will affect that. So the first factor it depends on is where you are in your lifting career. It's much easier to put on lean muscle mass when you're in the beginning stages rather than when you're at the end stages. When you first start off lifting, you're going to get what's called beginner gains. In your first year of lifting, it's possible to see 20 or even 25 pounds of lean muscle mass added. But in your second year, it's probably going to be more consistent, around 9 to 11 if you're lucky. That's kind of a lot for your second year. And then third and fourth are even more minimal. The third year is probably going to be about like 5 to 6, maybe 7, and then your fourth year is probably going to be about 3 to 5 pounds. Now, before we go into the other variables, I want to talk about what's actually happening when you gain muscle. When you're lifting weights, what you're actually doing is applying stress to your body and having your body adapt to that stress and become stronger. A good analogy is one from Dorian Yates, who's a 6-time Mr. Olympia. And what he says is, imagine getting a piece of sandpaper and just rubbing it on your hand until it bleeds. Well, if you wait 2 or even 3 days, your body's going to adapt to that stress in the form of tougher skin or a callus. So when you're lifting weights, you're really just putting stress on your body and having your body adapt to that stress so it comes back stronger. Which brings us to our second factor. How good is your sleep? Because when you're sleeping, you're in an anabolic state where your body's repairing and rebuilding. Lots of bodybuilders talk about how sleep might actually be more important than the actual lifting factor when gaining muscle. And again, it all comes down to your body recovering and adapting to the stress you're applying to it. So let's say you just had a crazy workout and you're super tired and fatigued, but you only get 3 hours of sleep. Well, your body's not going to adapt to that stress you applied. It's just going to try and focus on recovering. So the third factor is your workouts. How intense are your workouts? What kind of exercises are you hitting? What's your rest time looking like? If you're trying to gain as much muscle as you can, as quickly as you can, you want to hit a lot of compound exercises like squats, bench press, shoulder press, military press. The reason why compound exercises are so necessary is because they work multiple muscles at once, which is really good for increasing mass. Another thing you need to be doing as well as these compound exercises is increasing the intensity of your workout. So what does it really mean to increase the intensity of a workout? It means increasing the weight or lowering the rest time. The reason why the intensity of your workout is so important all goes back to that stress factor. You want to apply stress on your body that it's not used to so that it can adapt. But if you're doing the same amount of rest time in the same weight every single time, your body's already used to that. It can handle that. You need to be able to push it so that it can adapt to new stress. Next, we have the fourth factor, nutrition. How much are you eating? What are you eating? You really have to make sure that you're in a calorie surplus. If you're not in a calorie surplus, you're not going to be gaining muscle as quickly as possible. There's no debate about that. You should be looking at your macronutrients. That means your carbs, your fats, your protein. Most bodybuilders like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Frank Zane, they say to eat about 40% of your diet comes from carbs, 30% comes from fat, and then 30% comes from protein. Protein, you will kind of want to align it to 1 gram per lean muscle mass of your ideal weight. So let's say you're trying to hit 180 pounds and you're about 20% body fat. That means your protein intake should be around 144. And if you lower the carbs, you're probably going to be more lean, but you probably won't be gaining muscle as quickly as possible. The fifth factor is genetics. Now, there's not much you can really do about this. You're either born with genes that are really good for gaining muscle or genes that aren't so good for gaining muscle. You might notice that some people are just freakishly huge, and that's probably because they have great genes along with their hard work and dedication, of course. But there are other times when you start working out with a friend and he's just gaining muscle way quicker than you, and you're doing the same workouts, the nutrition's the same, and that's just because he has better genes for you for putting on muscle. The sixth factor is going to be supplements or drugs. Obviously, if you take steroids or insulin, you're going to be gaining muscle at a way quicker rate than anyone that isn't doing that. But there are other supplements that you can use that aren't drugs, like creatine or pre-workout. I like taking pre-workout in because I get more intense workouts, thus there's going to be more stress on my body and it will adapt. Now, I never condone taking drugs, but I get why people do it, especially if you're competing, because everyone that's competing pretty much is taking steroids, so you have to do it if you want to be on a fair playing level. Once again, I don't recommend doing this. I think you can get a really good physique just by eating and training properly. And there are so many supplements on the market. You always look at a supplement, it says you need this to gain muscle. If you're trying to gain muscle, you need this supplement. And it's just not true. For most of my lifting career, I didn't take any supplements and I built on muscle really quickly. Yes, some supplements may help, but they're really costly and most of the time don't provide that value. There are a lot of factors that determine how quickly you can gain muscle. But remember, you want to apply stress to your body so your body can adapt to that stress. The problem is your body is insanely good at adapting to stress. So if you're doing the same workout regimen and not increasing your intensity, your body's gonna stay the same and you're not gonna see gains. So what I've done is created a document with 3 power tips that will teach you how to apply different types of stress so that you never plateau. Go ahead and click the link in the description and enter in your email so I can send you those 3 power tips so that you can gain muscle more quickly. If you enjoyed this video or thought it was helpful, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more of my upcoming content, whether it's about nutrition or fitness, please hit that subscribe. And if you want me to go over any specific topic, leave it in the comments and I'll do a video about it. Thanks.